to you from the Bay, back in the Bay, visiting my family, my daughter, having an amazing time. Watched that All-Star game yesterday, and it was everything. It was everything. It was everything. We're going to dive into it, including what I saw from Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren. I do have to admit, I was nodding in and out, so I didn't see everything, but I got the bulk of the minutes, and it's an all-star game. So it's not exactly NBA Finals competition, but it was some damn good competition, and I can't wait to get into it. All right? Uh, but before I do, as always, do me the favor, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. So I appreciate all the love and support. This is definitely a dope time of the season. This is a great time of the season. This is the time of the season, time of the year where the NBA is transitioning from the hump days, right? That Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday type of vibe of the season. People just trying to get through it to now post All-Star break. Post All-Star break. Post All-Star break is symbolic of a transition to revving up for the playoffs. This is where the teams that are competing for playoff seeding, they've done all their trades, they've made all their moves, and now they're trying to put together all the actual pieces and positionings to try to win a championship, to try to make it into the playoffs, to try to get out the play-in, Charlotte, to try to prove that you can become a contender, Orlando, to try to get from a championship potential to actually capturing that flag, actually getting the trophy. That's what this time is. And so you're going to start seeing teams making their final adjustments to their roster in terms of playing time. Who's in, who's out, right? The first 2/3 of the season, or the first, I would say, maybe 3/5 of the season, right, is about, okay, let's see if we can bring this guy along. Let's see how ready Khalil Ware could potentially be for a playoff run, right? Let's get younger guys minutes. Let's see if his talent develops in a certain way, right? There's all these little things, right? But when it gets to the post All-Star break, when it's post All-Star break, all bets are off. Now it's go time. Time to win. And the Detroit Pistons are locked in. I would say most of the playoff teams are all locked in. And when I say locked in, I mean they know everything they need to know about their roster, everything they need to know about who can do what, whose strengths are what, who's really developed, who's reliable, who can be consistent, who performs well and shows up in these types of moments. They've seen it. That's what the first 50 games are about. Now you're going down the home stretch. You see the finish line. You see April. It's not hard to see April from mid-February, right? Because in a couple weeks, it's March. And then April. And the playoffs. You know, when I watched this All-Star game, I was pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised with Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham. The energy that they came out with. But not just the energy, the defense. The attentiveness, the willingness to go up and challenge shots. I want to say Cade Cunningham had 2-3 blocks in this All-Star game series. Jalen Duren dominated on the interior. He was a force. The other teams just didn't have nothing for him. And the beautiful thing about it is they kind of set up the teams to where you could see Cade, Anthony Edwards, Duren, Chet Holmgren, Devin Booker. This I hope y'all caught that. Jalen Johnson. This was a transition of what Team USA is going to look like. I don't know if y'all caught that. They were essentially setting up Team USA for the 2028 Olympics, 2026 World Games. That's the squad. That's the squad. The KD, the Stephen Currys, the Jalen Brunson, LeBron, all them, thing of the past. You saw Jalen Brunson's effectiveness was minimal. He was smoking transition layups He just looked different going up against all stars versus being in a heliocentric offense. Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker for shooting. And who's to say who doesn't develop over the next couple of years? Right? What young player now who's on the fringes might take those leaps? But Cade, Ant-Man, Duren, Chet, Scotty, Jalen, oh, that's the squad. Oh, that's the squad. That's Team USA. That's who we running with. And the Pistons and JB Bickerstaff are at the forefront of leading this new era of NBA American basketball. Something I was watching on YouTube. So I'm a basketball head. I'm gonna watch basketball all day because it's just fun. I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And there's this dude, it's something Unk. Let me give a shout out to his channel real quick because I woke up this morning. I'm getting on there. I'm watching the kiddos, and I scroll on this channel. This brother's watching old Shaq and Penny and Olajuwon NBA Finals. Old Uncle Ned. That's his channel. Old Uncle Ned. He out here watching NBA Finals, the Orlando Magic and Houston Rockets. Y'all wonder where some of my takes come from. Y'all got mad at me at that Nikola Jokic take. And I said, back in that era, Nikola Jokic doesn't even get drafted. He doesn't even get drafted. It may sound cruel. It may sound mean, like I'm being a hater. Could you imagine if you're a general manager and you're looking at Shaq, you're looking at Dream, you're looking at Ewing, you're looking at Robinson, Malone, eventually Duncan, and then you got to look at pre-draft Nikola Jokic, still chubby, could hardly get up and down the court, skilled as he might be. And you're looking at him and saying, what is he supposed to do with those guys? Right? You still got Vlade Divac, who's just an average player. He's a starter. He's an average player back then. Brad Miller. Eventually, Paul Gasol. Paul Gasol was dominant playing Nikola Jokic's game, but far more athletic. 7'1", 7'5", 7'6" wingspan. Was blocking shots, shooting threes, assists off the bounce. Extremely skilled. We act like we never seen Nikola Jokic before. Paul Gasol right now would be an MVP. All I'm saying, I'm watching that old Uncle Ned. I'm watching that era. And something that, really kind of touched my heart, touched my basketball heart, was seeing just the skill of Jalen Duren and Chet Holmgren at the center position for an American center. And the thing is, I realized that something that got lost was the development of skill. Yep, Chris Webber. Yep, as well. Yep. Hakeem the Dream 616. I knew. With a name profile like Hakeem the Dream, I already know that you know what's up. What's good, Big At? Yeah, in the chat, Ghost Keeper. My members in the chat. It's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Consider becoming a member of 2026. It's what it do. It's what it do. When I see Duren and Chet Holmgren, it reminds me of when big men had skill. And I remember there was a transition after Shaquille O'Neal. It kind of started with Greg Oden. But teams were like, okay, we're going to take a chance on an elite, talented big man just so we can have somebody who could potentially deal with those guys. Duncan, KG, Webb, Shaq, Jermaine O'Neal, Gasol, right? Zebo. Some big time scoring skilled bigs. And so they started drafting off of potential, talent, athleticism, positional size, instead of actually allowing guys to develop and show they're ready, show they're literally ready. What is their transferable NBA skills? Is it shooting? Is it passing? Is it rebounding? Is it scoring on the interior? I mean, back then you had to be able to score and play at a high level. Yeah, Michael Oliver Candy was another one. Was another one. And so in that transition, all of a sudden you get a bunch of young potential bigs who weren't ready. And that, honestly, Shaq in that era, the fallout of trying to keep up, really a bunch of small market teams being ran by a bunch of non NBA playing guys. You had a bunch of teams who are not used to winning, who try to take shortcuts. Instead of building a team the right way, instead of listening to other NBA players, people who know what they're doing, you get team owners and you get front offices with somebody's nephew, right? Kind of like the Lakers hiring his own son to, become a team president. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Did you even play high school ball? But all of a sudden, you're bringing in, I don't know, what do they call it? Nepotism. People who aren't ready and like, oh, we can get this guy and he can become this. Has he proven it? Has he shown it? Talk to another NBA guy who's played against greats and watches them in a workout and they go, yeah, no, he's not ready yet. Nah, but he could potentially be. Okay. Okay. Because you got the money. You got the position of authority. So now you don't have to listen to everyday people. You don't have to listen to people who are actually close to the game, who understand it. Kind of like our political sphere today. And so that introduction of an era of big men who weren't ready to compete at the highest level is what introduced the Golden State Warriors dynasty. You know why you can get away with Draymond Green at center? Is because the opposing center is DeAndre Jordan. No slight to DeAndre Jordan, but not the most skilled. DeAndre Jordan was supposed to destroy Draymond Green, but he didn't have the ball handling. He didn't have the touch around the rim. He didn't have the footwork. He didn't have the moves. He didn't have the confidence to be able to impose his will. They got caught up and they saw a Dwight Howard. Oh, we can get another Dwight Howard. No, you can't, bro. Those are 1 in a million. Literally. Literally 1 in a million. Just like Moses Malone and Kevin Garnett and Jermaine O'Neal, the guys who can come in right out of high school and make an impact in the NBA and become MVPs, perennial all-star players. Those guys do not grow on you. They are rare. They're rare. And so when I saw last night Jalen Duren with skill, I kind of wish the world team had Giannis and Jokic and Doncic and SGA. I wish they had their full accompaniment because I think they would have won it, but it would have been a great matchup to watch Duren and Chet Holmgren go against those guys and Jalen Johnson and Scotty Barnes. And that team have to go big. Forgot they had Tyrese Maxey too. Right? It would have been a thing to really watch. And I think over the years, we're going to continue to see this ascension of bigs, most notably thanks to LeBron James and the NILs. Name, image, and likeness. That is the bill that he was able to get Gavin Newsom to sign. In case you haven't seen the documentary, LeBron James, Rich Carter, and his crew were able to work with the Governor Newsom. I mean, talk about changing the game, right? Not just on the court, but also politically, opening up, right, the game in that way to say now players can get paid off their name, image, and likeness. The millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars that these universities were making off of these players and giving them chump change, giving them a scholarship. Man, I don't know if any of y'all have ever actually been on a college campus and talked to other athletes who have a scholarship. We do know that those same coaches who give them the scholarships are also steering them away from certain majors that they want. Oh, I want to be an engineer. No, you're not. You're going to play. Oh, I want to be an architect. No, you're not. You're going to play because we make money off you. And then they want to try to turn that around and be like, no, you're a student first. What? Cut you as soon as you get an injury. Shout out to LeBron, Rich Carter. Oh, sorry, Rich Paul, uh, something Carter, for getting the name, image, and likeness NILs passed. Because now you got big men who can stay in college and get seasoned. Shout out to Donovan Clingan. Shout out to Zach Edey. I wish Common Malawach would have stayed, because if he had, he'd have been a top 5 pick this year. But if you saw the Rising Stars game, you see a whole bunch of bigs on their way. We're slowly but surely coming back. Everything comes full circle, right? Eras matter. Eras of basketball matter because they teach you, they show you how the game is evolving, and it's constantly doing this. It's constantly doing this. People think time is linear, it's a straight line. Nah, man, it's cyclical. It goes around and around and around and around. Hakeem the Dream in the chat was good. Cortez Whitlow says, when is Duren going to get comfortable shooting his little jumper instead of driving to the basket as much? You know what? That is a great question. I was going to talk about that, but I'll segue straight into that because you brought it up. There is a boost in your confidence that you get. There is a boost in your confidence that you get when you become an all-star. Straight up, 100%. There is a boost in your confidence that you get after you become an all-star. After you're playing nonstop, when you're playing nonstop against LeBron, KD, against Jokic, against Devin Booker, when you're playing against the best of the best for a whole game, you begin to see yourself as the best. Literally. That's what happens. When you're playing against the best of the best, nonstop, you see yourself as one of the best. So then when you get on the court with guys who ain't in that game, what does it look like? Looks like food. Looks like barbecue chicken. It looks like you ain't worried about nothing. That's what it looks like. And the beautiful part of it, let me say this straight up. The beautiful part of it is that you begin to realize, oh yeah, I could have done everything that I thought I could have done all along. That's the beautiful part of it. You realize you could have done everything that you ever thought you could have done all along. And shout out to Duren because he actually works on his game. I remember there was this moment that like I had to raise my eyebrow at him. Because he was walking down the locker room, they were doing like some interview thing. They were like, yo, man, why don't you, have some candy, Halloween? He was like, nah, I don't eat that. I was like, what? He's a 21 years old talking about, nah, I take care of my body. I make sure that my body is cared for, is doing well. I don't eat candy. There's certain things I don't do because I'm a professional. When you have that mindset at 21, 22, it shows me something. It shows me something. It tells me that you're locked in. And if I'm honest, when you look at the slew of NBA centers who just never got locked in to ascending their game, There's just too many. Mo Bamba, Bol Bol, DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he got to NBA Finals, so I'm not going to jump on him too much. But there's plenty of Derek Lively's. There's plenty of bigs who never got the skill part down, who never continue to work on their game. Appreciate that, Cortez Whitlow. Yo, 39 people in chat, only 12 likes. Do me the favor, smash the like button. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. So I appreciate all the love and support, and definitely consider becoming a member in 2026. It's what it do. You might as well be a part of it too. Become a member, join today, hit the join button. You know, Duren is going to continue to ascend. And I think by the time we get to April, you're going to see that jumper more and more. You're going to see it more and more and more. I keep comparing Duren to something between Chris Webber and Karl Malone. That positional size at 6'10", long wingspan, skill, power, all coming together. And the fact that he's caring for his body so well early on bodes well. I also think having that suspension will also help. Because now he can sit back, get some extra rest, so he can close out this season strong. Because what we need Duren to ascend to is that number 2 scoring option. 100%. That's what we're needing. We need Jalen Duren to ascend to the number 2 scoring option. Not Duncan Robinson, Jalen Duren. I've been saying for the longest, Jalen Duren needs to be taking 15 shot attempts a game. Per game. That's 4 to 5 shots per quarter. Especially in the fourth quarter. Especially in the fourth quarter. When it matters the most. When we need to take the attention off of Cade the most. And to be honest, it has to do something between the coaches, but also with Cade Cunningham. Cade has to begin to become more of a floor general. Asar Thompson too. But JB's going to have to start playing Asar Thompson in the fourth quarter more as well. Somebody has to look around and say, oh, Duren has the mismatch. You get the ball. Oh, Tobias Harris has a 6'5" guard on him. You get the ball. Oh, Duncan Robinson hasn't got a shot off in a little bit. Run this play. Cade Cunningham, get off the ball. Get to your spot at the elbow. Somebody has to orchestrate this thing in real time. Somebody has to look at the court, survey, and say, where's the easiest shot? I did a short video on Chris Paul, just giving him a shout out for an incredible career. 19, 20 years playing in the NBA. A point guard for sure. But one of the things that made Chris Paul so great is that his ability to orchestrate the game allowed you to maximize every bit of advantage at every moment of the game. It didn't matter what it was. He's going up against the Spurs with Tyson Chandler, David West, David Wesley. I want to say it was George Lynch. A squad that had no business with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and them boys. And he took it to him. He took it to him because he could maximize every bit of advantage that he could create or was present there on the court. That's what he does. Somebody for the Pistons has to do that. It's either got to be JB, Asar, or Cade. But it's going to start with Duren beginning to see himself as that number 2 option. Hey, I haven't shot the ball in a while. I've been on the court because remember, he's only playing about 8 minutes a quarter. At the most. So that means we need him to take a shot every 2 minutes. If Jalen Duren goes a few possessions, remember 24-second shot clock rounded up to 30 seconds. So you're getting about anywhere between 2 to 4 offensive possessions every 2 minutes. That means Jalen Duren should be shooting the ball, taking a shot every 3 to 5 offensive possessions. That's the frequency. That's the frequency. And as always, just like with Asar Thompson, the Detroit Pistons need to give Jalen Duren a highlight package. Not of the dunks. I mean, yeah, you can have the dunks and the lobs. I'm not mad at that. But what I really want to see are the offensive moves in a highlight package. And you give that to Duren and you just have him watch that as he's getting taped up on the trainer table. Have him watch it before he gets warmed up, the pregame warm up. You need to see yourself visually in what you're able to do. You need to have that memorized. Oh, I got my spots. I know I could cross over so and so and finish with the left. I know I can cross him over and give him the fake, give him the little dream fake, spin around back over the left shoulder, jump hook. Right? Then I combine it and I cross over, fake with the left, fake, turn over the left shoulder with the right-handed jump hook, and then step through and finish on the opposite side. Right? Like I need you to know you can do that so that you're doing these moves regularly as the opportunity comes about, and it's not like you forgot. You see, this is the major difference why I brought up watching on Uncle Ned's TV channel, whatever, reviewing old games. Because people like Shaq played multiple years in college. Imagine Shaquille O'Neal, 2 years of college. If he needed 2 years of college to come to the NBA and dominate, Tim Duncan needed 2 years of college. Olajuwon, the dream, arguably the greatest center big man of all time, needed 3 years of college. Plus he redshirted. Lou Alcindor, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 4 years. Right? We're talking about all-time greats. They needed seasoning. They needed to be able to develop themselves. This is what we have to start giving guys an opportunity to do. And what we need from Duren is to be locked in. Oh, Hakeem the Dream, great point. Don't forget Duren came out of high school a year early as well. Bro, I wish he had NIL back when he was at the University of Memphis. Because if he was at the University of Memphis, getting paid a couple $1,000,000 a year, $2, $3, $4 million a year. Imagine. Patrick Ewing spent 3-4 years at Georgetown. Alonzo Mourning, 3-4 years at Georgetown. Duren would have came in with a jump shot if he played 3 years at Memphis. He probably would have been an all-star in year 2 had he done 2 to 3 years at Memphis. Had Kamen Malawach stayed another year at Duke, he'd have been a top 5 pick. That's just the reality. I know, hey, real talk, Donovan. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. It worked out for the Detroit Pistons. But remember, the reason why Duren fell in that draft is because people looked at him and said he's not ready. Devereaux87 says Duren staying focused is the key to everything. He has the talent, athleticism, and can become a force if he's locked in. He's been better and better. He has been better and better. Jalen Duren has been better and better. Brandon Boyd in the chat says by age 25, do we see Duren as the best big man in the NBA, especially if he adds that midi? I don't know about the best, but he'll be competing for it. He'll be competing for it. Yeah, he was abusing Jokic, and Wemby had to help a lot. You know, let me just say this. Jalen Duren is a major, major part of the Detroit Pistons. And I think that playing in an all-star game is going to help him to truly embrace that. To truly embrace that. You know why you can't get into foul trouble? Because you're a major part of what we do. You know why you can anticipate people hacking you and whatnot, trying to get into your head to get you tossed out the game? Because you're a major part of what we do. You know why you're going to start getting more foul calls and get to the free throw line and using that to your advantage? Because you're a major part of what we do. The number one seeded team. You see, we got to start thinking of ourselves as contenders, but not just us as fans and critics, but the players too. The players got to start seeing themselves as championship contenders, meaning how you take care of your body, how you prepare for games, how you even see the game. Your role is not a small role, it's a major role that you can embrace. Ron Holland, you don't have to do more, too much, especially if it's not there. You don't need to split three defenders. You can just split two, which is crazy because Ron splits two defenders all the time. But if you see a third, maybe kick that thing out. I'm excited. Cade Cunningham with the defensive attention, being locked in. This is going to be a special year. And although we no longer have Ivy, no longer have that, that special something. That's something that I was looking at. I was like, man, it could be really dope if Ivy becomes what we think Ivy can be. Because you put Ivy next to Cade and Duren and Asar, bro. But Ivy took his own route. He chose his own path. Whatever the reasons, he's made his bed. He's got to lie in it. We've got Duren and Cade and Asar, and we're special. This is a special team. Make no mistake about it. This is a special team. And everybody keeps pointing at three-point shooting, 3 points. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Take 3-point shooting, pick it up, put it over here, put it to the side. Put it to the side. We're not trying to become something that we're not at this point. We're trying to become great at what we do. Remember, I say on this channel all the time, no one has ever had to be perfect to be great. Stop pointing at the one thing we're not good at. Well, maybe the one major glaring thing that we're not good at. And hyper-focusing on it. And not realizing that actually what we need to do is leverage what we are great at. We need to leverage what we are great at, what we are amazing at, what we are dominating the entire NBA at. Defense, physicality, creating turnovers, getting out in transition. That's who we are. If you're not talking to me first and last about defense and toughness and Detroit basketball, then what are we talking about, bro? I don't want to have a random conversation with you about how we need more shooting. That's not the solution. Kevin Huerter was not brought in for more shooting. He was brought in because he could be a glue guy. Because we have a bunch of play finishers. And we need somebody who's going to make the extra pass, who's going to cut without the ball, who makes the high IQ play, who still has positional size and agility to play good defense, right? We were getting depth behind Karis LeVert, right? We're getting depth on the wing, right? That's what we were doing. We didn't bring him in to be a sniper. If we wanted just a sniper, we'd have just started playing Chaz Lanier more. That's the reality of it. If we only wanted more 3-point shooting, we'd have just played Marcus Sasser more. But this is about Detroit basketball. Defense. That is first, second, third, and fourth on the list. And then you can get to good team player, athletic, positional size, plays well without the ball, can knock down an open shot, switchable defender. Oh, see, that's back to defense again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10, 11, 12, 13 is defense. And y'all want to just talk about shooting. We have the best record in the league, y'all. We have the best record in the league, and y'all are complaining about shooting. You know what? I'm not even gonna go around. I was about to say some things, but let me just put it like this. We have the level of defense that if we even shoot an average percentage from three, which we've shown more than the ability to do, we are gonna blow teams out. If we go into a playoff series and shoot over 30% from three, we're running away with the game because of our defense. Because of our defense. Some of y'all don't understand that. We don't need to shoot 40% from three. We don't need to be a great 3-point. In fact, and I keep telling y'all this, everyone's 3-point shooting efficiency goes down in the playoffs. Why? Because teams are going to scheme for you. Teams are going to play better defense. Teams are going to know how to take away certain looks. Teams are going to be more prepared, more attentive, and more talented in the playoffs, which means you get less and less open looks. And then the looks you do get, you have to shoot faster and faster and faster just to have a chance to get it off, which does what? It diminishes your chance of making the shot. As a result, your 3-point efficiency goes down. So what do you have to lean upon? Now, I know some of y'all might say, but the threat of the 3-point shot creates more spacing. True. And teams have a plan for that as well. So what you're really relying upon is defense. Creating offensive opportunities, easy opportunities, where you can get out in transition to be able to get a layup, to get to the free throw line, which we do need to improve upon. Those free throws. Slide in Duren. Excellent 3-point shooter. Sorry, free throw shooter. I'm getting them mixed up today. Excellent free throw shooter. Duren needs to become our number 2. But it is a switch that he needs to flip. It is a switch that Duren needs to flip. And I think he will. Ray Floyd in the chat, what's good? One of my members is good. Salute, salute. In the playoffs, the floor shrinks anyways. You're damn right. You're damn right. It shrinks in a major way. And that's why Duren is so effective, because he can not only play through contact, but he can also impose his will and go right through guys. And that's what I hope to see over the next couple of months from Jalen Duren. When he gets the ball at that free throw line and he sees the defense is spread out and he only has one person in front of him, I need him to pause, look off the defense. That means look at your offensive player so that the defender who's guarding them stops focusing on you and starts focusing on their guy, thinking that you're going to pass it to them. They either freeze or they take a step or two back towards that guy, which opens up the floor, and then you go to work. What's up, kid? Oh. Got the kiddos. Got a little kiddos. But that's what he's got to do. He's got to go to work. He's got to be able to set himself up. And that's what the great ones do. They become methodical. They become intentional. They set it up. Brandon Boyd says Thompson hit his middies consistently. That also opens up a lot on offense. He don't have to hit threes, just middies. Big facts. Big facts. I'm just not just surprised, but also very I am very not appeased. Kind of proud. Not so much proud. I'm very happy. I'll leave it there. To see Asar Thompson taking that pull-up three. Sorry, not three. That pull-up jump shot from above the free throw line. That little 18-footer. looking comfortable, looking confident, looking settled. What I'm hoping is that for the next few days, right? We don't play until Thursday against the Knicks. For the next few days, Asar Thompson is working on that pull-up jump shot. He's playing one-on-one against Javonte Green and Ron Holland, playing ones, right? I would personally, I would, if I'm a coach, I would create a ones champion. You know that belt? I'd create a crown. Bow. You play ones after practice. Whoever wins gets the crown. You let those competitive juices come out. You let those competitive juices come out. And of course, when you play ones, it's only 2 dribbles. Don't let these YouTubers fool you, taking 5, 10, 20 dribbles. In the game of basketball, if you're taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dribbles, it's getting ripped. It's called help defense. It's called getting loaded up on. That's real basketball. You just want to play one-on-one, all right, whatever. In this scenario, I need the Pistons playing ones all the time. I need Asar Thompson having to work on his ability to score against the best defenders in the league. Against Paul Reed, against Javonte, against Ron. That's what I want to see. I want to see him having to work so he can get comfortable getting fouled and still finishing through contact. So he can still be able to see the rim despite a defender sliding over to help. I need him to acclimate himself to playing his best ball at the highest level, because right now that it's still pretty infantile. He seems to forget regularly everything he's been able to do from the overtime elite program, high school, all the parts of his game that he was doing at an elite level. All of a sudden now it goes in and out. I need 8 to 10 shot attempts from Asar Thompson. I do. Because an aggressive and offensively aggressive Asar Thompson opens up so much of the court. You know who's having to slide over to help? The opposing center. You know who gets the offensive rebound? Jalen Duren. You know who gets wide open shots now off of offensive rebounds? This is even if Asar Thompson misses. Cade Cunningham, Dennis Jenkins, Duncan Robinson. And an offensively aggressive Asar Thompson opens up the entire game for the Detroit Pistons. What I'm looking forward to over the next few days, that's what they're working on. Duren, let me see that pull-up jump shot from the free throw line. Oh, facts. Sasser may be our best one-on-one player, especially in the flow of the game. Sasser creates his shot cleaner than any player on our team. When I say clean, I mean when he's crossing somebody over, they're out the play. When he does a snatchback move, they are out the play. They are no longer able to contest his shot. When he gives you a move, the cleanness, the execution, the footwork, the balance, the touch, second to none on this team. Facts. Well, I would say in ones, okay, Thompson could lock up Marcus Sasser. I still think Marcus Sasser gets to his spots though. I'm telling you, man. There are some. Look, I've got moves. I have one, two. I have 3 moves in the bag that I can get this shot off against anybody. 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 I've done them for years, for decades now, since my teens. I'm in my 40s. I do these moves with my eyes closed. The jab go, the spin to the rim off the first dribble, and the step back bump chicken wing with the elbow. And then once I'm in my bag, the pull-up J is there all day. But those 3 moves executed blindfolded. The footwork, the spacing I know I'm going to get, the shot that I know is going to be able to get off. First one I'm going to go to is the jab and go, blow by. Gets you off balance with the first step, short jab, long extension step, big dribble, one dribble, two steps, I'm at the rim, lay. It doesn't matter who's there. The only way you're going to stop me is hacking the hell out of me. It's the only way you're going to stop me from scoring that. Then I set that up with the dribble and backspin straight to the rim. Those moves are off of one dribble. Then I give you the jab cross, one extra dribble, chicken wing, bump with the shoulder, a little elbow nudge, step back. That's Marcus Sasser's game. You're supposed to do your moves so many times that your body has memorized it. Your body knows exactly what it's doing without you even thinking about it. I remember Tracy McGrady when he got drafted. No, sorry, not when he got drafted. When he signed with the Orlando Magic from the Toronto Raptors. Johnny Davis was his coach, and I remember he was talking about his summer before that scoring title year. He averaged like 32 points per game, and he said all he did was he would work on one move over and 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 over, doing the move, executing the move at full intensity, game speed intensity, and he would try to go a little bit faster than game speed, but still keep his balance, his footwork, his timing, his touch, and he had to make the shot over and 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 over. And then once he memorized that move, that shot, then he did the counter. Y'all don't know about this. Y'all don't know about that. I go to a basketball court. I'm taking the game winning shot. You know why I'm taking the game winning shot? Because I know how hard I worked on my shots. People talk about 10,000 hours to become a professional at something. Did you get up your 10,000 shots yet? When you've gotten up 10,000 shots, you know what happens after that? You stop thinking about the shot. You're in a different space, and it doesn't ever leave you. That's why Del Curry can be 172, come from behind the commentator's desk, grab the ball, flip it around in his hands a few times, and shoot a three almost from half court, and it'll be nothing but net. Because he shot that ball 10,000 times. That's how you have to work on your game. That's how you have to develop. That's how you have to progress. That's what it means to be a professional. That's what you're supposed to be doing during this off time right now. All-Star break. You got a week and a half off. What are you supposed to be doing? Drills. Over, over, and over, and over, and over, and over. Not just anything. You're not trying to grow your game. You're reflecting on the first half of the season, the first 3/5 of the season, and then you say, okay, what was working for me? What moves, what shots worked for me? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill those moves over and over. So my team knows they can rely upon me to do that when it matters the most in the playoffs. The offseason is when you're supposed to add new moves, Ron Holland. No new moves right now. Only what has already worked. Catch and shoot three, finish in transition, straight line drive. That's it. If you haven't made that shot a few times throughout the first 3/5 of the season, put it down. Work on it in the offseason. Work on it in the offseason. This is what I'm expecting from our Pistons. Put in work. We're putting in work. And I'm excited. I'm excited. This is going to be a hell of a year for us. This is going to be a hell of a year for us. We're the number one seed team. We have the best record win percentage in the league right now. Uh, I'm expecting a run. Now, hold on. The Knicks got better. And I think we're going to see it on Thursday. But even what we see on Thursday is not necessarily what we're really going to see throughout the stretch because Duren's out, Stu is out, right? They're trying to integrate Jeremy Sohan. They still have what's his name? The short guard that they just traded for, Jose Alvarado, right? Right? They're still integrating pieces. But Jeremy Sohan, his draft scouting report, if you go back and look, very similar to what we see Asar Thompson doing today. Swiss Army knife defender, defend all 5 positions, get rebounds, block shots, help on the ball, off the ball, and be a glue guy, passing the ball, making the extra pass, bringing it all together. You put him on an older veteran team who needs that, plus Alvarado coming off the bench, next to a bunch of other scorers. They've upgraded their athleticism, their defensive intensity. They're going to be ready for us. The New York Knicks are going to be ready for us. If Boston gets Jason Tatum back, they're going to be ready for us. They brought in our arch nemesis, Nikola Vucevic. I told y'all we could not sit pat because every other team is looking at preparing for us. Every single team in our Eastern Conference, Cleveland Cavaliers with James Harden, now Dennis Schroeder. And who else did they pick up? Keon Ellis. All these teams said, we have to beat Detroit. That's who they're focused on, beating us. And we brought in Kevin Huerter. Trajan Langdon, you're going to have some explaining to do if we're a first round, second round exit. And it really depends on how we exit the second round. It better be a 7-game dogfight. Because we had assets, we had a $14 million trade exemption, and you brought in Kevin Huerter. No Bobby Portis, no Quentin Grimes. You sent out beloved Jaden Ivey for Kevin Huerter, who plays a lot like Karis LeVert. So you brought us a third string role player. That's what you brought us. That was your splash at the trade deadline to maximize this championship opportunity. You're going to have some explaining to do, Trajan Langdon, if we're not in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let me see. Let me get to some of these chat. Y'all got a great look. Hey, I keep telling y'all, become a member, hit the join today, smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Keep telling y'all, we have one of the best chats out there. You want some dope basketball content, not just listening to me, jump in the chat, bro. Jump in the chat. You should be here all day on the phone, all day. Ray Floyd, yeah, great point. I really love Jenkins' game. He's shifty and can score anywhere. I love that you reminded me of Dennis Jenkins. If I'm honest, Dennis Jenkins and Paul Reed and Javonte Green's revelation on this team is probably our midseason acquisition. I don't know if there was another move that was better than those guys' ascension, but getting depth behind those guys was probably also essential and maybe potentially addition by subtraction and just getting Karis LeVert out of there. Ant Cohen Jr., yo, welcome. Becoming one of the subscribers. Yo, shout out to you, Ant Cohen Jr. Bow, bow, bow. Salute, salute. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the squad. That's how we are in the Bay. We squatted up. Let's go. Detroit basketball. Look, for sure, what I want to see is a major shift. Yeah, I appreciate that. And he said, had to. It's 2026, right? Can't miss in 2026. It's all hits, no misses. Become a member. 2026. Hit that join button. I need addition by subtraction. It's time for JB Bickerstaff to have a conversation with Karis LeVert. It needs to say, Dennis, Javante, Ron, Paul, Stu. Those are the bench players that will be ahead of you. That's what he needs to tell them. When you get in, we expect you to play like you have a $14 million contract. But we're not sacrificing to get you in the game, to get you your 20-something minutes. The reality is, as skilled as Karis LeVert is offensively, he's average to mediocre defensively. And remember, it's not shooting that's going to get us wins. It's our defense that creates offense in transition, that creates mismatches, that gets us wins. And it's time to double down on the defense. Real talk. Ray Floyd said, I almost want to play Lanier over LeVert. I agree. I agree, Ray. I'll take Chaz Lanier because I don't know if y'all noticed, Chaz Lanier started off the year on the regular roster. Then he went down into the G League. Since he's been back from the G League, he has been in his bag, bro. He's been in his bag. He's been killing it. He steps on the floor. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Before, he was just waiting around, catch and shoot. Waiting around, catch and shoot from deep. He didn't even want to dribble. He came back from the G League. My man's is giving you the pump, off-ball movement, pump, hezzy, pull up at the free throw line, floater. He's giving you the full repertoire since he's been back from the G League. That's what the G League was supposed to be for. That's what Jaden Ivey was supposed to go down there and do. Get his whole bag together. Get his whole bag together. That's what I hope Bobby Clintman is doing down there. Getting his bag together. That's what I hope Tolu Smith is doing. Speaking of Tolu, I hope you working, bro. Because this is it. This is it. This little stretch. Especially this next game against the Knicks when we got to deal with Mitchell Robinson. We're going to need you, bro. We're going to need you. We need you to out-rebound Mitchell Robinson. Keep that big boy off the glass. Finish inside. Get to the free throw line. Knock down those free throws. Show you are a player, bro. Yeah, the pressure's on and you can handle it. You've handled it at every level, at high school, at Mississippi State, in the G League, and now you're with the big boys because you deserve to be here. Now you got to prove it. You got to prove it. Yeah, Ray, I appreciate that comment. Look, Chaz Lanier's defense is also better than I thought as well. He's got a really good wingspan, got that 6'9" wingspan, and he's about 6'4", 6'5". Similar measurements to Jaden Ivey, not as athletic, but playing 4 years of college ball, he understands more defensive schemes and responsibilities. When you're not a star player as a freshman and a sophomore in college, you have to learn defense. You have to execute it. So he's learning schemes. He's learning effort. He learns how to close out, stay down, move your feet, right? Which foot to start with when you're sliding your foot, right? Because you start with your lead foot in the direction you're going, not the back foot. Because if you start with your back foot, your first step, you go nowhere. So that's how you get beat. So you got to learn how to close out and then start with the appropriate foot based upon which way you're pushing that offensive player, right? There's all these things you learn in repetition, competing at the college level. This is why staying 2, 3, 4 years is so important. And now that they can finally get paid for their services, more and more reason to do so. Shoot, Stephen Curry stayed, 3, 4 years? Imagine if Jaden Ivey had stayed one more year. Nah, I get it. He came out top 5 pick. Okay, cool. But if he had stayed one more year to work on his point guard distributing play, I think he would have been more accelerated in terms of his ability to step in and play the role that he was needed for the Detroit Pistons. That's just the reality of it. He would have been that much better. It is what it is. We're contenders. We're here. We're here. And we're going for it. And I'm ready. I hope y'all are ready too. Says Lanier is better than Dalton Connect. I think so too. He's got it, but Dalton's in a different position. I think Dalton could do Con Knipple in a different situation. Right? If he was in a different situation, if he was in Orlando, like he could become a Duncan Robinson. I have no doubt about that. But Chaz is real nice. He's nice. Look, I like to leave y'all a little bit as I close out the live. I always like to leave y'all with a little bit. First off, before I do, smash the like button for me. I appreciate everybody coming through. This has been a dope live today. Hope you are enjoying. I think it's President's Day, something like that. I don't pay attention. I just know we got the day off. Hope you're enjoying it, getting some rest as you enjoy this live chat. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and the bell for notifications. Consider joining in 2026. Become a part of this community. It really helps with the sustainability of the channel and all that jazz. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let me just end with this. I said at the beginning that time is not linear. It's not a straight line. It's not beginning to end. It's cyclical. It goes around and around and around, which means that many times in life, different things that come up for you are going to come up again and again and again. And you'll have more and more opportunities to try to do it different, to try and do it better. And sometimes we can feel annoyed by that. Sometimes it can be hurtful. It could be relationships that don't work out, right? It could be a breakup. It could be a lost job. It could be a big argument. But if you can step back and not judge it, not judge yourself, not judge the situation, and learn from it, you recognize that there's an opportunity for you to grow as a person, as a human being, and get better. And get better. Now, that's what we see from all these professionals that we love to see grow and develop. They got to fail a whole lot and get more opportunities to keep failing so they can do something different. It's no different in your life, in our lives, all of our lives. Life is going to keep presenting opportunities, and we'll have more and more opportunities to do it better, to learn. So hopefully you're taking your opportunities as your life goes on from day to day to just do it a little bit better. Because we all know how that looks over time. Getting a little bit better incrementally over time can look like you going from a rookie who's sitting on the bench to becoming an all-star. Don't cheat the process. Don't cheat the game of life. Just play it. As Kobe said, fall in love with the process of becoming great. Great at you. Knowing that you ain't never had to be perfect to be great. Just be you. Fall in love with your process, not someone else's, because everyone else's is already taken. With that, I'm going to get at y'all next time. Have an amazing day. Remember, love someone deeply. Love your family, your kids, your loved one. Hug them. Let them know you love them. Laugh deeply, as hard as you can, and live your life to the fullest, because you only get one. And like I said, everyone else's is already taken. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.